So Home Again is a new supposed romantic comedy starring Reese Witherspoon, who plays a single mother who's miserable, and one night after going out with her girls, she meets up with 3 guys, and the next morning, she wakes up with all of them in her house, and in order to keep a happy relationship going, they need to try to make sure that they don't get in each other's way. At least that's what the marketing told you. What this movie is really about is Reese Witherspoon trying to live a happy, normal life and supporting her children when she runs into these 3 guys who are starving artists inside of LA trying to get their film off of the ground. They start spending enough time with Reese Witherspoon and her kids, and they begin getting emotionally attached. There's really no other way I can put this. This is not only one of the worst movies of the year, it is the worst romantic comedy I've ever seen. In fact, I don't even want to call it a romantic comedy. For one thing, every little comedic joke that they tried to attempt in this movie fell utterly flat. And that's not just me saying it wasn't funny. I was in a packed auditorium filled with couples, and none of us laughed at the awkward attempts of humor at this movie. There was a point where Reese Witherspoon was driving her kids to school, and then her kids got out of the car and she felt frustrated, so she slammed her head against the horn. And apparently that was supposed to be funny. It wasn't funny, it was awkward, and the romance is non-existent as well, and I guess we should talk about that. And while I say the movie has no romance, it does have quite a few sex scenes in it, but here's the thing, sex does not mean there's romance. You want to know what this movie's idea of romance is? Here you go. After Reese Witherspoon gets the main guy that she was planning on hooking up with back to her house, the next day, he comes to her feeling guilty, saying that he wants to just be friends, and she says she's fine with that. Then the next thing, he's saying he pretty much wants to sleep with her. And then, she says that she's not comfortable with that. Only thing is, that same night, he fixes a cabinet for her, and what do? They hit the sack! Oh yeah, and I should mention, all of that happened within about 7 minutes of screen time. Besides the sex in this movie, there was an even bigger problem I had, and it's that these characters are poorly developed. Number 1, Reese Witherspoon. No, they could have played it up that she's a single mom, a very strong single mother who's doing what's best for her children. But nope, Reese Witherspoon's character in this movie derives all of her happiness from being in a relationship with a man. Not to mention, she is positively the worst mother I have ever seen in a movie ever. She takes in these 3 guys, and she lets them play with her kids, she lets them drive her kids to school, she lets them have as much alone time with her kids as they want. And every other character besides Reese Witherspoon in this movie, I don't even want to call them characters, because I couldn't tell you anything about them, besides the fact that they love film. Nothing! You guys know I love The Big Sick, and the number 1 reason is because it provided some lessons about how relationships are run, about how guys and girls view relationships. Home Again doesn't do anything, although it might insult the audience's intelligence. But there's one more thing I need to say. This film is so poorly shot. There was one scene shot on a beach. It looks like it was made specifically for the Hallmark Channel. Guys, I can't talk about this anymore. Please do not go see this movie. Do not support it. The movie is miserable enough as it is, so I'm just gonna do it a favor and kill it. Home Again, stay in your shorts. But as always, it is what you guys say that matters. So what did you thought of it? Honestly, it's the perfect question for this, because I don't want you guys torturing yourself with seeing Home Again. But whatever you think, leave a comment down below telling me your thoughts. And if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right there and subscribe and become part of the fray of nerds who love cinema. You all have a fantastic day.